Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content I've been putting up, be sure to subscribe so you always know when a new video pops up. Now that we got that part out of the way, let's get into the video. Final Fantasy XIV is a massive game with thousands of hours of content. What I'm going to do here is break down some of the major plot points for those of you who want to know more about Eorzea, but may not have time to experience it all firsthand. This time we're covering the third part of the Yorha Dark Apocalypse storyline. It's been a while since Eorzea disappeared after the incident in the puppet's bunker, and despite what the dig site chief thought, she hasn't come back, and the dwarves still haven't forgiven Konog. He had expected Konog to run off after his sister, but instead the young dwarf has just stayed in the tunnels alone. To add to all of the chaos, the chief has to get his men back organized and working, so he doesn't have time to look in on Konog much, so he sends you to do it. And since he really has nobody else, you agree to check on the poor kid. You find him unconscious on the tunnel floor with a really bad fever. He tries to shrug it off so he can go look for his sister, but you make him stay put while you go tell the chief. The chief panics and rushes off to get some medicine from his wife, but, as you should have guessed, Konog is gone when the two of you get back. You check around the area, and when you don't find him, you head back to the last place you had found him, inside of the bunker. This time the chief comes with you, and after a run that is just designed to test your patience, you find Konog unconscious next to the giant white orb. It glows white, and dozens of 2Ps step out of it. You get ready to fight them, when all of a sudden 2B and 9S run in with Eorzea. Even though you need some answers, Eorzea tells you that there's no time and you have to destroy the orb immediately. Before any of you have a chance to attack it, the androids all start to make a weird noise before they vanish along with the orb. The bunker starts to shake violently, and you all rush outside just in time to see a tower appear out of nowhere, stretching into the sky for miles. Eorzea curses about the fact that you were all too late, and although you still have no idea what's going on, she claims that she can't waste time explaining. You all have to destroy the sphere, or what 2P has started will destroy the whole world. Since Eorzea helped revive 9S, the two androids are going to help you take down the machines. Eorzea asks the chief to get the unconscious Konog out of there while the four of you head into the tower. The tower is huge and extremely unsettling, with the machines spouting things that 9S calls nonsense over the intercom. The doors are locked, and 9S hacks into them, allowing you to fight the defenses in cyberspace. The first few monsters should be recognizable to those of you who played the original Nier, and if you haven't, you'll get the chance when Nier Replicant comes out in a few weeks. The creepiest defense is the Red Girl from Nier Automata. I've come to realize that when you fight something with the name Red in the title, the fight's gonna be brutal. Or do I need to remind you all about the Red Chocobo in Bastia? After you deal with her, you come across an elevator that will take you all the way to the top of the tower, with you fighting two giant robots on the way because nothing could possibly be easy. At the top of the tower, you see your creepy Red Girl friend again, doing something with the white light that is pushing the orb into the sky, forming a hole in midair. She multiplies herself and attacks you all to keep you from interfering. 9S, 2B, and the Warrior of Light try to stop her, but she floats off into the sky, merging with the orb and expanding the hole into the unknown. The orb floats back down and splits in half, revealing a creepy giant girl that reminds me of the Cloud of Darkness. She claims that you will be the first to see the new world, then she attacks. As you fight, she talks of how long they've waited to throw open the gates before she stuns you all and teleports into the rift that was growing larger and larger in the sky. When she merges with it, barely audible voices come from the other side before she floats back down in her new form that I'm going to guess is a fusion of 2P and Zero from Drakengard 3. Now I may be reading too deeply into this, but this is a Yoko Taro creation, so I might not be going deep enough. The new creature's name is Her Inflorescence. Now, inflorescence is the flower head of a plant. Since the boss is specifically called Her Inflorescence, I think it's meant to mean her flower. Zero had a flower growing out of her eye that had merged with her at the time of her death, turning her into an intoner, which is basically a really powerful god. The flower had a mind of its own, and sensing that it wasn't exactly a noble being, Zero tried to get rid of it. First she tried to dig it out of her body, and when that didn't work, she tried to kill herself. All that did was cause the flower to make 5 more intoners, who all had a bit of Zero's power. They went off to do a lot of bad things, so Zero set out to kill them all. The story is way more complicated than that, but explaining it in detail would literally take hours. And who knows, I might cover it one day because the story of Drakengard and Nier and how it all interconnects It's pretty cool, even though it is a little complicated. However, that is something to worry about on another day. For now, you just have to beat the creature no matter what it is. You bring her down, but that doesn't close the rift. In fact, it keeps getting bigger. 2B and 9S try to close it, but they don't seem to be having any luck. So Anog steps forward. She hands you a letter to give to Konog and tells the androids that she'll help them close it from the other side. She tells you to take care of her brother before she digitizes and teleports into the rift in the same way the red girl had, proving that she wasn't the real Anog, but a product of the orb. When she enters the rift, it seals with a loud explosion that knocks you all unconscious. You wake up to see both 2B and 9S are dead, but the pod has recorded a message that they left. 2B had discovered that 2P and her allies, the tower and the giant girl you fought, all came from the orb, just like they did. It was a portal between worlds, and its main purpose is to destroy the first. The problem was, as long as the two androids remained on the first, the link between the worlds could never be severed, so they had to shut down in order for the portal to close. But they wanted to leave a record of all the things they did on the first, so they uploaded their memories to the pod so it could tell you. Once the message finished playing, 2B, 9S, and the pod vanish. Then the tower itself begins to fade, forcing you to flee for your life. I don't care how fast you run, that tower was taller than heaven on high. There's no way you made it out of there in time. The warrior of light should be dead. When you get back to the chief and tell him what happened, he's heartbroken to hear about Anog, even though he knew things wouldn't end well. He thinks it'll be better if you tell Konog because he doesn't think he can do it. When the boy hears about his sister, he doesn't take it well either. He reads her letter, but what she tells him about her being a construct and seeing other worlds doesn't calm him down. There's more in the letter that we don't know about, but whatever it is does little to make him feel better. He feels abandoned, and he asks you to leave him alone a bit so he can think. He had found the chief's wife's watch in some rubble and fixed it for her, and he wants you to bring it to them because it was important to the woman. He would bring it himself, but he doesn't really feel like dealing with people right now. The chief is happy to get his wife's watch back, but he immediately gets suspicious about the fact that Konog didn't deliver it himself, so he rushes back to the tunnels only to find that Konog has left. He blames himself and the people of the village for the way they treated the twins, and he sets out to rebuild the village and make the people more receptive to new ideas. With a little help from you, of course. Most of the dwarves still want blood for what happened with the machines, despite the fact that you dealt with the threat. Talking to them helps a little bit, and with time they may come around and start working together, and you being you agree to stick around and help with the rebuilding process whenever they need. Before you head out, a device is delivered to the village for you from Konog. Using the portable archive the twins gave you a long time ago lets you read it, and you find out that Konog is out trying to learn the secrets of those white orbs, because just because you dealt with one, doesn't mean there aren't any more. This concludes the third part of the story of Yorha Dark Apocalypse. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video.